Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, my name is Gayatri Apsarini Hisanah. I'm going to answer the question number 1. I will explain a little bit about the studies I found and learn about the effects of climate change on polar bear populations. Climatic conditions are practically the same as weather conditions. However, the two terms are different conditions. Climatic is the statistical probability of various atmospheric conditions, including temperature, pressure, wind, humidity, that occur in an area over a long period of time was stated by Gibbs in 1980. So climate change refers to long-term changes in temperature and weather patterns. The Ministry of Environment stated that the definition of climate change is a change in the physical conditions of the Earth's atmosphere, including temperature and distribution of rainfall, which have broad impacts on various sectors of human life. In addition to living creatures that are affected by climate change, the habitats they leave behind are also affected. Increasingly significant global temperature change are currently playing an important role in habitat destruction. There are species of animals and plants that can survive extreme cold or heat. This species is able to migrate to other areas according to its physiological needs. However, there are species that are unable to migrate and have a low tolerance for climate change and will start to disappear when the environment becomes unsuitable, like too hot or too cold. An example is the polar bear. I've been looking for studies that contradict one another about the effects of climate change on polar bear populations. The first study of polar bear population threatened by significant climate change. Climate warming is climate change, which means that the temperature in a place increases drastically, which can cause damage to a habitat or region. An example is the Arctic. The Arctic is a place where polar bears live. The polar bear, which has the Latin name Ursus maritimus, depends on sea ice to eat, breathe, and move. Significant reduction in Arctic sea ice are expected to continue due to climate warming. In an article I found, they evaluated the impact of climate change on polar bears in the southern Beaufort Sea through demographic analysis combining a deterministic, stochastic, and environment-dependent matrix population model, with forecasts of future ocean conditions from IPCC General Circulation Model. Polar bears, found in Arctic regions with permafrost, rely on sea ice for access to their primary prey and life history. However, retreating sea ice and longer summer periods can reduce foraging success, increase nutritional stress, and increase distances between seasonal use areas. In some areas, sea ice melting completely forces polar bears to spend summer on beaches, increasing the risk of injury or death. A study analyzed polar bear population in the southern Beaufort Sea, one of 19 areas defined by the IUCN Polar Bear Specialist Group. The population of 1,500 individuals is at risk of extinction, with a probability of 0.80 till 0.94 by 2100, and ice free period increased by 50% between 2001 until 2003 and 2004 until 2005, but surviving and breeding probabilities decline. The population growth rate becomes negative when ice exceeds 127 days due to reduced adult survival and breeding probabilities. The second study is a study that states polar bear populations are stable despite the significant climate change. I haven't been able to find a study that clearly states that polar bear populations are stable despite climate change. I found a study that says the polar bear population is stable, or maybe increasing a little, but the study was conducted in 1971 until 2006, which is quite old. And now climate change is increasing significantly, so that the studies conducted at the time may not have been accurate. A researcher studying climate change effects on polar bear must assess the credibility of scientific studies. Factors such as data source, reliability, geographical scope, and statistical analysis are crucial for establishing the credibility of findings. Studies from reputable organizations, long-term monitoring programs, or accurate datasets are more likely to yield credible results. Geographical scope and extended data collection periods provide a comprehensive perspective considering temporal and spatial factors. Rigorous statistical methods are essential for deriving meaningful conclusions from the collected data, and transparent data collection methods aligned with best practices in the field. Based on these factors, I think it has determined the credibility of studies on threatened, threatened polar bear populations in the context of climate change. That's the answer from me for question number one. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.